Welcome to 83K Nation. I want to talk to you today about the 10 essentials to building a multi-million-dollar expert empire. Essential number one, you've got to pick one word to master. Many of you have heard me talk about this many times over the years. But when you really look at people who have really succeeded at building expert empires as speakers, authors, coaches, consultants, you will find that the super successful decide to pick one unique topic. Some call it a niche. But when you think about the name John Maxwell, you instantly think what? Leadership. If I say Dave Ramsey, you instantly think what? Debt. If I say like Benny Hinn, you instantly think healing. And the list can just go on and on and on as you'll find people who build expert empires, they do it around one word. I was fortunate to be able to spend some time with Joel Osteen, and it was an amazing time together as he opened up his heart and he said, you know, the day that changed my life was the day that I realized that my one word is encouragement. I thought, wow. And he said, everything I do centers around that one word, encouragement. So every time I get up to speak, goal is I look at my notes and I say, am I encouraging people? Am I infusing courage into the hearts of God's people to believe big things for God? Giving them courage to be able to attempt the impossible? Am I encouraging people who are on the verge of breaking up, on the verge of quitting? Am I encouraging people to keep on keeping on until they see their breakthrough and their miracles? And I thought, wow, that was just so cool, because I never really saw Joel as building his entire ministry around one word, encouragement. So when people ask him challenging questions, which I'm sure you've heard, people ask him about, you know, what do you believe about gays? What do you believe about abortion? What do you believe about this? And when people ask him about challenging subjects, a lot of people get mad because he doesn't just, you know, blast out exactly what you want him to say as a conservative Christian. And sometimes we don't understand world changers because they're so locked into their one word, their passion. So he's locked into encouragement. I'm not trying to bash somebody who's had an abortion over the head, so I'm going to say something encouraging. I'm not looking to bash a gay person. I'm looking to say something encouraging. And you see, everything comes out of that one word. His sermons, does this sermon encourage people? My book, does this book? I'm going to write a book on encouraging people. Every book, it's all about encouragement. I don't know about you, but all of us need a steady diet of encouragement, right? Because what you'll find in life, there's not a whole lot of people out there that'll just give you an uplift when you're down and out. There's a lot of people out there that'll kick you to the curb. Hey, post yes down below if I'm talking the truth, right? I mean, your own brothers and sisters, your own family will kick you to the curb. And so I want to just let you know that you've got to narrow things down. It can't be 3 words. It can't be 5 words. It can't be, I'm going to talk about 10 different things. It has to be one particular subject. That's why in 83K Academy, we help you nail down that one word. We spend an extensive amount of time focusing on getting you crystal clear on what that one word is. Just like for me, it was confidence. And I built a whole brand around America's #1 confidence coach. How do I find that one word? Some of you may just need to make some side notes to this. You really, in a lot of ways, have to look at your passions. Like, what are you passionate about? A quick trip to your bookshelf will tell you a lot. And I hope you have one. I hope you have a large bookshelf. Because if you're an expert, experts read. You should have a bookshelf of at least 100 books. about that particular subject that you've read. If you read over 100 books about one subject, you will come in the top 5% of people in the world on that particular subject. So some of you who've already discovered your one word, hooray for you. But my question is, are you continuing to learn more and more and more? Some of you have known your one word for a year. Some of you 5 years now. And my question is, are you reading the books? Are you still staying there daily? Staying up to date on your information? So what are you passionate about? When you go to your bookshelf, you find what you're passionate about. What do you love? What do you love to talk about? It's a clue. What makes you cry? Get back to some of this stuff. What makes you cry? What do you think God weeps about? It's a clue to a problem in the earth that God wants you to solve. It's a clue to a pain in the earth God wants you to heal. It's a clue to a need that's in the earth that only you can fulfill. And when we talk about passion, not only we got to talk about what we love, we also got to talk about what makes us angry, what really makes us mad. I mean bulldog mad. And when you begin to tap into these questions, like what makes me angry? Whoa, that's tapping into passion. And these are just a few things I want to encourage you to consider. But you've got to find your one word. I would recommend that you go through 83K Academy. We have a new class coming up here shortly, and you can click the link down below and apply. But I want to get back to this. You got to pick one word. What subject are you going to own? Like, I want this written on my tombstone. That's the first step to building a multi-million-dollar expert empire. Because the word's expert, that means you got to be an expert. Not on everything, not on every subject. I don't want you to be a pastor who can preach sermons on anything. He just grabs the Bible and quotes some scriptures. I'm talking about an expert. You're an aspiring Christian author, speaker, or coach, then I've got something just for you. I'm opening up a few spaces in my private mentoring program, 83K Academy. In less than 6 weeks, I will take you through a step-by-step process to launch your expert business completely from scratch. You will get a brain dump of my 25 years in this business, from launching a multi-million-dollar brand, writing a bestseller, traveling the globe as a paid speaker, and even consulting billionaire entrepreneurs and CEOs. This is truly an opportunity of a lifetime to have me personally mentor you to discover your one word as we build your multi-million-dollar expert business together. To apply for one of the few remaining spots in the program, head over to 83kacademy.com and submit your application to qualify now. Godspeed, my friend. Number 2, you've got to have stories. Stories are essential. That's why in 83K Academy, I have people write out their entire timeline. There's many of those of you who have already gone through 83K Academy, and you'll recall I had you start from the time you were born till now and write out a timeline of all the stories of your life. To 2 kinds of stories. Stories where you've had great success, and then stories where you have failed. Stories where you've been healed, and stories where you have faced tremendous hurt. But all of us have, as we look through our lives, we have these stories, these things that have happened to us. Mentors that have come into our life, that transformed our life, that brought change to us. We need to have a running book of these stories. Stories are some of the most valuable arsenal that you have in your equipment, in your weaponry as a warrior out there wanting to be used by God to change lives. Your story is they are your weapons. They're your bombs that you're going to use to get people's attention, that you're going to use to connect with people, that you're going to use to get them to take action. There's two types of stories. One, there's credibility stories. What's a credibility story? A credibility story is a story where somebody discovered a solution to a problem, they solved it, and they got a positive result. That's what we call a result story. It's pretty simple, right? Like, you need to collect those stories. Some of you have been following me. When people have gone through my courses, gone through my training, read a book or whatever, I'm a collector of stories. Can you post that? Hey, can you put that on a video for me? And I collect these wonderful stories. Some of us call it testimonials. But these are stories. If they're not your stories, they're stories of other people who have got results. There's also reporter stories. Like, that's stories where you've gone and you've asked a successful person questions. And they told you what the answer is. And now you have what we call a reporter story. Like, you don't have to be a billionaire to write a book about billionaires. All you got to do is go to some billionaires and ask them questions. And write a book on 10 things billionaires know that most people don't know. And the book can be just 10 chapters of 10 different billionaires that you ask questions to. And they brought an answer or a solution to a problem. You can have researcher stories. Hey, I was researching this subject, studying this subject, and here's a story of, man, here's what I found. You're not going to believe this. In this old book from 1902, that's a story. That's a researcher story. You also have role model stories. Like, you have a story where there was somebody in your life that was a role model to you. And now you come back and you say, hey, you know, my grandma taught me to do this. This is my grandma's principle. I have a grandpa's principle. I call it the 90% rule. I wanted my house painted one day, and I really wanted my grandpa to do it because I was really busy in ministry. And so my grandpa came over. He was retired. I wanted him to do it. And I said, hey, Grandpa, I said, my house really needs painted on the outside. And my grandpa looked at me and he says, do you have paint? And I said, no. My grandpa laughed. He said, well, Keith, the house is 50% painted when you buy the paint. I was like, oh, I had to think about that for a minute, right? That's a cool principle. And then he came back the next time, and I said, hey, Grandpa, I got the paint, I got the brushes, I got ladders, I got the tarp to cover. And I says, I really need my house painted in the back. He said, Keith, he said, your house is 90% painted the moment you open the lid and stick the brush in the paint. All right, Grandpa, I get the hit. You're not going to paint my house, right? All right, I get the hit. So what was the principle that my role model taught me? That's a cute story, right? It's a cute story with a huge principle, right? That you got to start. You got to do what's at hand, and you've got to start. And as soon as you start, you're almost 90% finished. Most people never start, as strange as it may be. People, I want to write a book. Have you started on the first sentence? No. You got one paragraph? No. Do you have one page? No. How long have you been wanting to write a book? I've been wanting to write a book for 10 years. 10 years and you don't have one sentence, one paragraph, or one page. They don't start. The second type of story is either credibility or it's connection story. This is a story of why you are like your audience, that you've been through a certain struggle. I call them connection stories. That you understand how they feel. I know where you're at. I was $180,000 in credit card debt. I had to move into my mother-in-law's 10 by 10 bedroom. I had no money in the bank and had to scrape out of an ashtray for change. I know where you're at. I've been there. What is that? That's a connection story. And that is essential to building a multi-million-dollar expert empire. The story of your struggle, the stories of your comebacks are gold. Essential number 3 is strategies. Once you compile your story, now your strategies are so valuable. There are 2 types of strategies: how-to strategies and high-performance principles. You've got to bring people the how-tos. When they did a study of books on the subtitles, the most popular subtitle that people bought in books for hundreds of years are books with how-to in them. People want the how-tos. You've got to give them the how-tos. How to improve their life, how to grow their business, how to make more money, how to lose 100 pounds in 3 days, how to repair your relationship after someone commits adultery, how to overcome pornography, there's all kinds of problems in this earth. And you've got to provide people with strategies. You got to provide them with 7, think about David Covey, 7 habits. Or that's a how-to, right? 21 laws of irrefutable leadership. 7 steps. 10 secrets. Laws. What are all of those? All of those are strategies to help people, either to educate them or to solve their problems, or for skill development. And then the other strategies are high performance, like how do I become my best? How do I get more productive? How do I make more money? Right? All of these are how do I make more money faster? So there's the 2 sides. You're either the how-to or you're performance driven. The 4th essential is you got to have a sellable product. I'm amazed how many times they come to me and they're struggling and they're not making any money. And I say, well, how many products do you have? A lot of them that haven't gone through 83K Academy, they show me some old book that they wrote like 10 years ago, 20 years ago. They say, I'm an author. I got this book. I'm like, great. I'm glad you got that book. Did you create a course with that book? A course? Yeah, a course. By the way, nobody wants to really read books anymore. I mean, just a little side note to all of you. Books establish today more credibility in people's minds. Confidence is my one word. I have a book on confidence, and in people's mind, wow, that person must know something about confidence. It establishes quickly your credibility that you're an expert in that field. But most people, what do we know? They won't read the book. Or if they buy the book, the majority, something like 80+% people never get past the first chapter. They read 1 chapter. That's why one of my friends says, I write small books. I write 1 chapter books so people can experience the joy of completion. I like that. That's a good one. 1 chapter books. But what do people want to do? They want to take in different ways. Some people are readers, but that's a minority. Some people want audio. I want to ride my bike and I want to listen. I want to work out. I want to listen. I want to drive my car to work. I want to listen. Some people, they want to lay in bed. I want to watch a video while I'm laying in bed at night, just before I go to bed, or when I wake up in the morning on my TV. I want to watch it. So your job, once you find your one word, is to create as many possible avenues as you can to be able to bring your message to people in the way they digest it. And so you should be saying, okay, I need a book, I need ebooks, I need audios, I need DVDs if I can, I need downloads of my videos, I need webinars, I need teleconferences, I need seminars, I need online courses, I need coaching programs, I need consulting programs, I need masterminds, I need speeches. These are all products. If you don't have products and you say, well, I'm in business, I don't have a product. You're not in business if you have no products. And by the way, you got to have a way to collect money. Don't forget about that. So you got to have sellable stuff. Because remember, money propels the message. Number 5, you got to have a sales process. Okay, you got to find out, okay, what's the process? Someone is interested in my product. What's the process I'm going to use to, number 1, sell them, number 2, deliver that product to them? How am I going to do it? Now, if you're selling something that's inexpensive, like let's say it's below $500 online, you don't really have to have a salesperson. But if you're going to sell your coaching programs, if you're going to sell your consulting programs, people aren't going to spend $10,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $2,000 a month. Some people are not going to spend $1,000 a month unless they talk to somebody first. So what's your process? Do you have one in place? Okay, if they're interested in me coaching and consulting them, do I have a process in place that I can get on the phone with them and talk to them about this? Or do I have another person who I work with that I say, hey, you're good at sales. I'm selling this product. You handle these bookings, these sales leads, and I'll pay you a percentage of the sale. There are people out there that will do that all day long. So you got to find somebody or train somebody to be able to do that. Or when you're fresh and new, do it yourself. Do you have a sales process to be able to do that? Next essential ingredient is a social presence. You've got to have a social media presence. In a lot of ways, there's a lot of people, that's the way they hook up with people now. Like I was somewhere this week and 2 very successful businessmen I was with that I just met at this particular place I was at. And I found it strange, like neither one of them really asked me for a business card. They said, hey, what's your social handle? And I just said, at DrKeithJohnson. And by the way, you need to build all your social presence around, make it all the same word, whatever it is. Preferably your name. So you're embedding your name into people's minds. But two people, 2 connections, high quality people, business leaders, and they didn't ask me for a business card. They asked me, what's your social handle? And they connected, one connected on Facebook and the other one connected on Instagram. So at least have the account set up. They're free. They're free. Make sure you have a social presence. The 7th ingredient is you got to have systems and structures in place to get money, to receive money. If some of you haven't done this yet, you need to go to PayPal and set up an account. I can't believe I got to tell people this stuff. But you can't make money if you have no way of receiving it. And remember, we're no longer about, oh, can I sell a book to the guy next door or to my family members and you'll bring the $5 or $10 or $20 over. You're talking about a global market now. So you need a way to collect money by credit card. So PayPal is a wonderful program that you need to figure out. How can I get a PayPal account? Just go to paypal.com. You can go to Stripe. Stripe is another platform. Any platform that's available, I sign up for. I have Cash App. I have Vimeo. I have all these different, I can't remember all of them I have, but every single platform for me to be able to receive money from someone, I have those platforms. So if someone wants to pay me, say, well, I only do Vimeo. I'm like, fine, all right, I got it. Here's my Vimeo link. Send me the money. You got to take the friction out of getting money to you. Money loves speed. It hates friction. So take the friction out. Number 8, self-confidence. Oh, I love that one. Some of you need to look in that camera with confidence and speak with confidence. Not a I think. You need to come to that camera and say, I know what I'm talking about. And you need to believe it deep in your heart when you speak. When you believe in you, you start projecting a self-confidence, a belief in yourself. Nobody's going to follow anybody who's timid, who's insecure. Look in that camera and speak. Look in that camera and ask them to take action, because you know you have the solutions to people's problems. Confidence is such an important thing. And if you feel like you need more of that, I have a whole training. DM us. I have a whole program, a 30-day program to help you build your confidence. But you got to have confidence. Confidence is not positive thinking. It's no. It's a difference between I think positive, think positive. No, I know in my heart. Ingredient number 9 is self-discipline. Wow, that's not a popular word today. You don't determine your future, you determine your daily habits. And your daily habits ultimately determine your future. You've got to get some disciplines. What are the 5 things I got to do every single morning to get known? Creating content. What do I got to do every day? First 5 things. What are the disciplines? Day in, day out. Whether I'm feeling good, I'm not feeling good. Whether there's a death in the family or there's not a death in the family. It does not matter. I am going to stick to these 5 things and I'm going to do them. I have a daily attack plan. I put it right on the top of my page. My attack plan for the day. Boom, 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 boom. And I attack it. Number 10, you have to have a service mindset. Jesus didn't come to be served. He came to serve. And I want you to remember this, because sometimes we can get caught up in the money that we forget about. It's about serving others. It's about caring about people and caring enough to serve them and to add value to their life. And here's what I know. If you care enough, if you serve enough with a pure motive, money will be exchanged because you added value to them and you won't lack. I want you to lead from your heart. Leaders are there to serve others more than anybody else on the planet. We are servers. Always keep that in mind. And there you have the 10 essentials that in my mind, of what you got to have in place to be able to build a multi-million-dollar expert empire. If you'd like to know more about 83K Academy, you can just go to 83kacademy.com and you can learn about what 83K Academy is all about. And you can book a call with either me or one of my coaches, and we'll see if it's a fit for you. So click the link down below in the chat. We'll post that down below, and we'll get you hooked up with somebody who can help you bring clarity into the direction for your life. James added an extra $83,000 a year to his business as an author, speaker, and coach. Justin added $84,000 of monthly reoccurring revenue and just hit his first $100,000 month. And Martin made $1 million in just one product launch alone. So how did they do it? Hi, my name is Dr. Keith Johnson, and since 2014, I've helped hundreds of authors, speakers, and coaches dial in a strategy to make a difference and a fortune by becoming a best-selling author, getting booked on stages that are huge, and charging upwards to $120,000 per coaching offer. Many of my private clients aren't just earning an additional $83,000 a year, but as much as $83,000 a month doing what they love. All of that from a system that I call the one-word framework. Imagine your business like a toaster. You put in your book, your speech, and your coaching offer, and pull the lever, and money pops out of the top. I can hear you now. Keith, that sounds ridiculous, right? But imagine if it were possible. Well, I'm about to show you a simple 3-step strategy that I've used to automate product sales in my sleep, get better paying speaking opportunities, and acquire high-ticket coaching clients that pay me $50,000 per month. What would it mean for you and your family if you could double or even triple your fees and send out an email to fill your calendar for a year by noon? Maybe it would mean no more skipping vacations, working multiple jobs, no more discounting your speaking fees, or competing with cheaper coaching options. Maybe you could finally get rid of all those boxes of books sitting in your garage. We are truly going to take your business and income back into your own hands and finally make a difference in the world in a way you can be proud of. So, if you're interested in learning how to grow and scale your business as an author, speaker, coach, using a little-known one-word framework, then click the button below this video and join me on a free coaching call where you'll be able to learn how you can implement this strategy in your own business. And I know what you're thinking. Man, this sounds hard. I can't imagine what kind of work goes into building a system that works like this. What I'm about to show you is much simpler than trying to figure this industry out on your own. It's simpler than just jumping from idea to idea and getting nowhere. It's simpler than hiring an agency that always overpromises and underdelivers results. It's better than just hoping that it will change someday. Hope is not a strategy, my friend. Now, this has worked for hundreds of authors, speakers, and coaches all across the US, Canada, and beyond. How? Because you'll no longer have to take what you can get, but truly attract high-quality clients that stick, stay, and pay as best-selling author, speaking on the biggest stages all over the planet. And whether you're just getting started or you've been in the industry for decades, this strategy works over and over again. Transitioning into becoming a full-time author, speaker, and coach is nowhere as difficult as you might think. Whether you tried before and failed, or whether you're not even sure where to begin from where you are now. So if you're interested in discovering my one-word 3-step framework to help you become an author, speaker, and coach in 2024, then you'll want to go ahead and click the button below this video and let's hop on a free coaching call to get you started. It would be my honor and privilege to help you make a difference and a fortune as an author, speaker, and coach.